Equanimity is a state of inner balance, where the mind remains steady regardless of external circumstances. It does not mean indifference or suppression of emotions. Rather, it is a deep understanding that both joy and sorrow, success and failure, praise and criticism are all temporary. When we cultivate equanimity, we learn to face life's ups and downs with a calm and open heart. In our daily lives, we are often pulled in many directions by external events. A small inconvenience can make us frustrated. A piece of good news can make us feel excited and hopeful. There is nothing wrong with these emotions, but if we become too attached to them, our peace of mind depends entirely on what happens outside of us. Equanimity allows us to observe our emotions without being controlled by them. Imagine a quiet lake. When the wind blows, ripples form on the surface, but deep underneath, the water remains still. Our mind can be like this lake. The surface may be disturbed by emotions, but deep inside, we can cultivate a space of stillness. This stillness does not mean shutting out emotions. It means recognizing them, accepting them, and letting them pass naturally. One of the greatest benefits of equanimity is freedom. When we are not attached to external outcomes, we are no longer prisoners of circumstances. We do not react impulsively to every challenge or praise. Instead, we respond with wisdom and clarity. This is especially important in difficult times. When things do not go as we wish, an equanimous mind helps us to remain patient and see the situation with greater perspective. Equanimity is not something we achieve overnight. It is something we cultivate over time through awareness and practice. By paying attention to how we react to situations, we begin to see patterns in our thoughts and emotions. This awareness is the first step toward balance. Equanimity is not just an idea. It is a way of living. In daily life, we constantly face situations that test our patience and emotional stability. Someone cuts us off in traffic. A coworker makes an unfair comment. A family member does something that upsets us. In these moments, our first reaction is often frustration, anger, or disappointment. But if we pause and observe our emotions instead of reacting immediately, we create a space for equanimity to grow. One way to practice this is through awareness. When a challenging situation arises, take a moment to notice your reaction. Instead of thinking, "This shouldn't be happening," or "This is unfair," simply recognize, "This is happening." Acknowledging reality without resistance helps us remain calm. It does not mean we approve of everything, but it allows us to respond with clarity instead of being controlled by emotions. Another helpful approach is shifting our perspective. Many of the things that disturb us are not as serious as they first appear. If we take a step back, we often realize that what upsets us today may not matter in a week or a year. Even in truly difficult situations, maintaining a broader view helps us make wiser choices. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" we can ask, "What can I learn from this?" This simple shift turns obstacles into opportunities for growth. Equanimity also grows when we release control. Much of our stress comes from trying to control things that are beyond our power. We want people to behave a certain way. We want events to unfold according to our expectations. But life does not always follow our plans. When we accept this, we stop wasting energy on what we cannot change and focus on what we can, our own thoughts, words, and actions. Lastly, equanimity is strengthened through practice. Just as a muscle grows stronger with exercise, our ability to stay calm improves with repeated effort. The next time you feel frustration rising, take a deep breath. Observe the feeling without judgment. Remind yourself that emotions come and go like passing clouds. Each moment is an opportunity to practice balance. Equanimity is easy to appreciate in theory, but much harder to maintain when life presents real difficulties. When we face illness, loss, or failure, it is natural to feel overwhelmed. In these moments, equanimity does not mean suppressing pain or pretending everything is fine. Instead, it means allowing ourselves to experience difficulties without being consumed by them. One of the greatest challenges to equanimity is fear. Fear of change, fear of loss, fear of the unknown. When life takes an unexpected turn, our minds often resist, trying to hold on to what feels safe and familiar. But resistance only creates more suffering. A more peaceful approach is to acknowledge our fear without letting it control us. We can remind ourselves that change is part of life, and that even the most difficult moments will pass. Another challenge is dealing with injustice. When we see unfairness in the world or experience personal betrayal, our immediate response may be anger or resentment. While these feelings are natural, holding on to them can poison our peace of mind. Equanimity does not mean ignoring injustice, but it helps us respond with wisdom rather than blind reaction. Instead of being trapped in bitterness, we can ask ourselves, how can I respond in a way that brings clarity and strength? Sometimes, equanimity is tested not by suffering, but by great joy. When things are going well, we may become attached to success, praise, or comfort. However, everything in life is temporary. If we depend too much on external happiness, we will suffer when it fades. True equanimity allows us to enjoy good times, while understanding that they too are impermanent. Equanimity is not about becoming emotionally numb. It is about embracing life fully, its joys and sorrows, without being controlled by either. It is about standing in the middle of life's storms, without being swept away. This is not always easy, but with practice, it becomes more natural. Equanimity is not something we achieve once and keep forever. It is a practice, a way of meeting life with balance and clarity, no matter what comes our way. Some days, we may feel steady and calm. Other days, we may struggle to maintain our center. That is perfectly natural. What matters is not perfection, but our willingness to return to a place of balance again and again. As we continue to cultivate equanimity, we may begin to notice small but meaningful changes in our daily lives. Situations that once upset us deeply may no longer have the same power over us. We may find ourselves responding to challenges with greater patience and understanding. We may also develop a deeper sense of inner freedom, no longer controlled by every passing emotion, but able to observe and experience them with awareness. This way of living allows us to move through the world with greater peace. It does not mean we stop caring or become passive. On the contrary, a calm and steady mind gives us the strength to engage with life fully, without being overwhelmed. We can be present with both joy and sorrow, without clinging to one or running away from the other. Thank you for taking the time to reflect on this journey of equanimity. If this message has resonated with you, I am truly grateful. Your support, whether through a like, a comment, a subscription, or a super thanks, means a great deal. It allows this space to continue growing, and I deeply appreciate each and every one of you who takes a moment to connect in this way. May you continue to walk this path with steadiness and peace, and may equanimity be a source of quiet strength in your life.